Hey guys, welcome back to Analytics with Priyam. So in this video, I've came up with another exciting project that is pricing analysis. Okay, so basically in this project, you have to find out the products which are not performing well and which are not showing much profit, and the management can take the decision just like they can discount product or they can increase the price of that product. Okay, so we have to find out these things. Okay, so you can see the dashboard which I have created. So the process starts with importing the data from to the SQL Server to the lakehouse. Okay. So basically we are having three tables: order, customers, and the products. Okay. So these tables we are going to pull up into our Fabric lakehouse. Okay. After then we are going to query it. Okay. So we have to perform some of the joining conditions. We have to use CTEs and all so that we can create a combined unified view. Okay. After then we are going to create a semantic model. Okay. Also, we are going to create a calendar table. In the semantic model, we are going to establish a relationship between our calendar table and this unified view. Okay. We have to create the measures also in the semantic model. After then, we are going to pull this semantic model in Power BI and we are going to create a fresh report out of it. Okay. So please stay connected to this video.
So guys, let's back to screen. Okay, so first of all, let me show you the BRD. Okay, this is the email we got from to the management. Okay, so basically, let me read this. We have observed a significant decrease in our profit margin across the portfolio, which we attribute primarily to rising cost of goods sold, tariffs and other factors. Please review our portfolio across the 23-25 orders data to make recommendation in our pricing strategy. Okay, identify all the products with the gross margin percent below 30% in quarter 3. Okay, create a dashboard showing year over year GMP, revenue by category, products and region. Okay, provide a clear data backend recommendation on which items require a price increase or discontinuation. Okay, so basically the management wants to know which of the product is not performing well, whether they can increase the price of that product or they can discontinue it. Okay, so now let me go back to our data. So basically our data reside in SQL Server. Okay, so basically I am having project database. In this database I am having these 5 tables. Okay, customer, orders 23, orders 24, orders 25, and the products. Okay, so basically what we are going to do, we are going to bring all these tables into our lakehouse in which we are going to query it. Okay, we are going to append these orders table. Okay, and after then we are going to store it into CTE. After then we are joining with this table. After then overall we are going to join it with this table. Okay, so basically we have to derive a unified view out of these tables. Okay, so let me go back to our Fabric account. Okay, so here let me now create a new workspace. Let me name it as a pricing analysis. Okay, so basically we need a lakehouse and a data flows into. So let me first create a lakehouse. Okay, let me give the name of the lakehouse. Let me name it as a pricing analysis. Okay, now let me create a data flows into. Let me name it as a pricing analysis. Okay, so now we have to get the data from to the SQL Server database. Server name is PM. Database name is projects. It is project or projects. Let me check projects. Okay, so let me pull all these tables. Okay, so let me see all the tables. Okay, so let me give the destination. First, let me check. Okay, so data is looking correct. Okay, no need to clean the data. Let me give the destination to our lakehouse. For orders. Okay, let me give the destination to our lakehouse. Eventually, we have to give all these tables a data destination to our lakehouse. So I'm going to speed up the process. Okay, so we have given all our tables a data destination to our lakehouse. Okay, so now let me quickly publish it and let's wait until it publishes. Okay, so as you can see, our data flow has been published successfully. Okay, so now what we have to do, let me open our lakehouse and check whether we got our all the tables or not. Let me refresh it. Okay, we got all our tables. Okay, now here you have to switch to SQL Analytics in view. Okay, so here we are having the schemas as DBO. In DBO, we will be having all the tables. Okay, so these are all the tables. Okay, let's start with a new SQL query. Okay, so first of all, let me write down select star from orders 23. Okay, we have these tables. Okay, now let me. Okay, now what we have to do, we have to pick only those columns which are required. Okay, so I'm going to take order ID, customer ID, product ID, order date, quantity, revenue, COGS, okay. So these many columns we need. Okay, now, okay, let me use union all. Okay, so basically we have to union all these tables. Okay, we have to append all these tables. So let me copy the same. Okay, and here let me change the name 23 to 24. Okay, now again we have to union all. Let me paste the query, and here we have to change this to 25. Okay, now let me run this. Okay, so this table we got as a appended table. Okay, so we can consider it as a orders table. Okay, now we have to do some of the modifications. Okay, so let me store this into our CTE. So with name of the cities, name of city, what I am going to give, all orders. As okay, after then we open the bracket, and at the end we have to close it. Okay, okay, now let me write down the select query, select star from all orders. Okay, so it is working correct. Okay, now what we have to do, we have to join the other two tables. Okay, so let me use, okay, now select star from all orders. Let me alias it to A. Okay, left join, customers. Okay, let me alias it to C. Now A dot customer ID. We have a customer ID common column in between these two tables is equal to C dot customer ID. Okay, now again we have to join it. Okay, left join, products. Let me give the aliasing as P. Okay, on A dot customer ID, not customer ID. Here we have to take the product ID, because product ID is common between product and the customer table. Okay. Okay. So, but I don't want all the columns. So let me choose the columns from all the tables. Okay. So from to the A dot order ID. Okay. So here the names are not popping up. So we have to manually write it. Order ID. A dot customer ID. Product ID. Order date. Quantity. A dot COGS. Okay. So now let me open the table. Let me see other column names. Okay, COGS in capital. Here you need to be very careful because these queries are case sensitive. You have to be very careful about the upper and the lower case letters. Okay. Now we are done with the orders table. Let me pull up the columns from to the customer table now. C dot region. C dot customer join date. C dot not from. Now let me pull up the columns from to the products table. Okay. P dot product name. P dot price. P dot base cost. Okay. Okay, product category also we want. P dot product category. Okay. Okay, we want only these columns. Okay, now let me run this query. Okay, we got the unified view. Okay, now we need one of the column. Okay, so as a profit, so we have to calculate that. Let me, okay, so now let me add that also. A dot revenue minus a dot cogs as profit. Okay, let me run this. Okay, we got the price column. Okay, so basically we have to do some more modifications, just like we know that in customer ID we are having the nulls. Okay, so let me see the null values. A dot customer ID is null. Okay, so many customer IDs we are having null. Only 24 rows are there which are having null customer IDs. Okay, so we have to take only so basically we have to eliminate these. Okay, so we have to modify this query as not null. Okay, so it will ignore the null values. Okay, okay, so basically I also know that in revenue column we are having some nulls. Okay, so we have to write some case statement. Let me write it here. Case when a dot revenue is null, then p dot price and a dot quantity, else a dot revenue. And as, let me give the name of this column as cleaned revenue. Okay, now let me run this query. It's giving some error. Okay, here we have to give the comma. Okay, now let me run this query. Okay, we got our cleaned revenue column. Okay, so now what we have to do, we have to store it into a view. Oh, this is our final table, okay, which we have created. This is our final unified view. So now we are going to store it into a view. Let me write down create view, view name as pricing analysis, as okay, and putting it under the bracket. Now let me run it. Oh, where there is error. Okay, let me run it. Okay, our view has been created. Let me see the view. Yeah, we got our view. So now let me take a new query and let me say select star from. Okay, our final view. Okay, now we have to import it. Okay, so now we have to create a semantic model out of it. Okay, so here you can see we are having an option of creating a new semantic model. So we should click on this, and from to the view we have to select this. Okay, we have to give the name of the semantic model as pricing analysis. Let me confirm it. Also here we are going to create a calendar table. So okay, let me refresh it. Okay, so calendar table we have to bring from to the data flow Zen2. Okay, so now what we have to do, let me go back to our data flow Zen2. Let me close these. Okay, let me find out the M code. Okay, this one is our M code. Let me copy it. Get data from to the blank query. Okay, so here we have to modify the start date and the end date. The start date, when we will sort the date column with the ascending order, we will get the start date, and we will and when we will sort the date column from to the descending order, we will get the end date. Okay, so for now I'm going to save it. After then I'm going to modify it. Okay, Okay, or we can find out from here. Select max of order date. Okay, so we have the maximum order date as 30/11/2025. Okay, now let me go to our data flow, advanced editor. This one is the end date. What was that? Cross verify. 25/11/30. Only 11 months of data. What is the minimum date? Let me select min. 23/102. Okay, so now let me save it to our lakehouse. Let me name it as a calendar table. Okay, now let me publish it. Okay, let's wait until it publishes. Okay, so guys, you can see our data flow has been published successfully. Okay, now what we have to do, we have to go back our lakehouse and check whether we got our calendar table or not. Let me check. Okay, we got our calendar table. Now we have to include this into our semantic model. Now let me open the semantic model. We go to editing mode, edit tables, and here we are going to bring the calendar table. Okay, now we have to create a relationship between our current calendar table and the pricing analysis view. Okay, so with the help of a date column, we are going to create a relationship. Okay, okay. Now what we have to do, we have to import this semantic model into our Power BI report. Okay, all the measures we are going to create in the semantic model only. Okay, here you can see we are getting the option of creating a new measure. Okay, so here we are going to create the measures, and if we want to short something, okay, let me show you. We have to short the month short. Okay, month name by month. Okay, so let me short it. Short by month short also, short by month. Okay, where we can do the sorting order also. Okay, now let me quickly pull up the Power BI. Or BI semantic model. Okay, this one is our semantic model. Let me connect it. Okay, now you can see we got our both the tables. Okay, and this is the live connection with Power BI semantic model. Okay, so here we can see our modeling which we have created in semantic model. Okay, now let me quickly add up the charts. Okay, so let me one by one quickly add the charts. First I need a donut chart. Okay, so in the legend what we want to show, we want to show the product category, and in values we want to show the revenue. Oh, we haven't taken the revenue column. Okay, let me quickly go back to our query and add the revenue column also. Somewhere it was missed. Okay, so we have to go to SQL Analytics end view. Okay, SQL Analytics endpoint. Okay, here we have to go to our query. Okay, so basically here you can also save our queries which you have written. Okay, so we have to alter it. And here we have to take, okay, here it was missed, a dot revenue. Let me run it. Okay, it got saved. Now let me check our view. Okay, we got our revenue column. Okay, now let me go back to our semantic model and pull this one. Okay, now we got our revenue column. Okay, now let me quickly refresh here also. Okay, we got our revenue column. Now we have to add it in values. Okay, we got our this chart. Okay, now let me quickly create one more chart, and that is we are going to use this one. Okay, onto the x-axis we want the order date. Okay, date column we are going to pick from to here, and onto the y-axis we are going to use sum of revenue. And in legend we are going to use reason. Okay, so this chart has been created. Now let me quickly move to matrix visual. Okay, let me add a matrix visual, and here in the columns we have to take the reason. Okay, and onto the rows we have to take the product name and order date. And onto the values we are going to take the revenue. Format it. We don't want column subtotals, row subtotals. Okay, plus minus. Okay, this we have to turn off. Okay, so let me go to layout and select tabular. Okay, repeat rows. Okay, now you can see it is looking fine. Okay, okay, now let me quickly add a list slicer. Okay, and here in this we want the order date, not the order date, we want the year and the quarter. Okay, here you can see it is having the blanks. Let me remove it. Okay, so here you can see, here we have to format the lines. Okay, linear we want smooth. Okay, now you can see it is looking somewhat fine. Now what we have to do, the grid lines we have to remove, horizontal as well as vertical. Okay, and x-axis title we don't want, and y-axis title also we don't want. Okay, now it is looking fine. Now let me add some KPIs over here. Okay, let me take a card visual. And here let me show the revenue. Let me format it, the callout value. Let me take it as 30. Okay. Let me copy this one. Okay. So now let me change some theme. Okay, let me view the themes. Okay, let me use this one. Okay, now you can see it is, the UI has been changed. Okay, so now what we have to do, we have to create one slicer, okay, in which we are going to put some of the values just like revenue, quantity, profit and margin. Okay, so once I am clicking on to the profit, then these visuals should show the profit. Okay, and if I am selecting the revenue, so these all the charts should show as it is showing sum of revenue. So it should show revenue when I'm selecting revenue, and when I'm selecting margin it should show sum of margin by product category, sum of margin by date and region. Okay, like that we want to show now. So we have to do some extra modifications. Okay, so now let me quickly go back to our semantic model. We have to create one table in which it will be a matrix selector, okay, in which we are going to put the values just like revenue, quantity, customers, profit and margin. Okay, so now let me quickly create a new table. Okay, let me name it as a matrix selector. Okay, profit not sales we are going to take. We are going to take revenue. Okay, after then we are going to take customers, quantity, and margin. Okay, now let me quickly create it. Okay, we got our table. Okay, now let me refresh here. Let me see. Yeah, we got our matrix selector table. Okay, now we have to write the measure to select these values. Okay, let me create a new measure. Let me name it as a KPI. Here we are going to use switch and selected value. Matrix selector is equal to revenue then sum of revenue. Okay, now let me quickly copy it. If the selected value is quantity, then we are going to take count of order ID. If it is profit, then we are going to take sum of profit. If it is margin, then we are going to use some basic formula. Sum of margin, okay, sum of revenue minus sum of COGS and divided by sum of revenue. Let me put it into the bracket overall into parenthesis, okay, and divided it by sum of revenue. Okay, else no value. Let me close it. Okay, now this KPI we are going to use everywhere. Now let me quickly refresh from here. Let me copy the same list slicer, put it over here. Okay, okay, so here we have to choose. Okay, so here we have to put only this. Now when we are selecting any of the thing, nothing is happening. Okay, so why nothing is happening? Because we have to change the values of all these visuals to KPI. Okay, we put it somewhere here. Okay, let me choose it as a drop down. Okay, let me change first to slicer and choose here to drop down. Okay, put it here. Now let me quickly change, okay, sum of revenue to KPI. Okay, and here let me select. Okay, now it is popping up. Profit, why it is not giving? Let me check the formula. Okay, it is profit. Okay, so customers, so let me remove these customers. Okay, now let me refresh it here. Okay, now it is popping up. Okay, now similar way we have to change it here also. Have to change to KPI. Okay, here also we have to change the revenue to KPI. Okay, now let me check KPI by product name, KPI by revenue, KPI by profit, KPI by margin. Okay, like this you can design. Okay, so now let me quickly add these KPIs. Okay, now here we need not the revenue, we need, okay, the average of revenue. Let me put it, and instead of sum we are going to take the average. Okay, now here what we are going to take, here we are going to take the profit. Okay, we need more KPIs, so let me copy it. Here we need count of customer ID. First one, here we need to take the count. Okay, more KPIs, let me copy it, and here we need margin. Okay, so we don't have margin column, let me create it. Go back to our semantic model and create a new measure. Let me name it as margin is equal to sum of revenue. Okay, we have to take the cleaned revenue. We have to change it from everywhere. Wherever we have taken the revenue, we have to take the cleaned revenue. Okay, minus sum of COGS. Okay, and the whole, we put it in parentheses, whole divided by sum of revenue. Oh, not the reason. And this will be in the percentage form. So let me format it to percentage. Okay, here you can choose the decimal places. For now I am going to take it as 2. Now let me refresh it from here. The margin, let me copy the same. So here we need the quantity. Okay, let me quickly rename the titles also. Should be revenue. ABG, let me short it. Be profit. Should be customers. Is margin, and it should be quantity. Okay, now it is looking somewhat fine. Okay, now let me quickly create a new page. Okay, and let me take a matrix visual. So here what we have to do, we have to take in the rows we have to take the product name, and onto the columns we need year, On to the values, we need the revenue. Okay. Okay, now let me quickly copy the same, and place it over here. And sum of revenue we don't want here. We need to show the margin. Okay. So here you can sort it by ascending or descending order. Okay. So basically these are the products which are falling below 30. Okay, these four products. So the management has to increase the pricing of these products or they can eliminate these products. Okay. As in the BRD it is mentioned, uh, identify all the products with the gross margin below 30% in quarter 3 25. Okay, so here in quarter 3 25, these many. Okay, so these are falling under 30%. So management can look into it, and whatever they want they can do. Either they can eliminate these products or they can increase the price of these products. Okay. Okay, now let me quickly format all these visuals and place it accordingly. Okay. Okay, we can pull it here, and also we can use the list slicer. Okay, here we can change it to matrix selector. Here we can keep only the year. Let me go to title and change it to year. Okay. Okay, now what we have to do, let me give the title of the dashboard. So let me get a text box, and here we are going to give as a pricing analysis. Selected font size should be 32. Okay, pricing analysis dashboard. Okay, now we have the page 2 also, so we need one of the buttons so that we can navigate to the next page. Okay, so let me go to buttons, and here you can get page navigator. Fine, let me add a back button. action we are going to give page navigation destination to page 1. Okay, to take we should not take this one. Let me take a blank button. Here let me write down the title as product details. In the text we should write down product details. Here title let me turn off. Okay, and the action we need page navigation. The page will be 2. Okay, so once we are clicking on it, navigate to the next page. Okay, okay, so here the dashboard is fully completed. Okay, so I'm going to publish it into our services, and after then I'm going to create a data pipeline for to the data refresh. Okay, let me first publish it, save it to here. Let me save it to desktop pricing analysis. Pricing analysis. Okay, now let me publish it to our services. Okay, so I will provide all the PBIX file, the queries which I have written, M code, and the related things I will provide in description, all the dataset files. Okay, so these things will provide into the description where you can copy it and practice it. So this project is basically for to the beginners and also to the intermediate level, the students who want to prepare for to the Power BI and they want to learn some fabric concepts, so they can watch this video. Please like, comment and subscribe to my channel. Okay, now let me quickly go back to our workspace. Okay, here we got our report. Now let me create a data pipeline. Not a data pipeline, it's a pipeline. Pricing analysis. Here first we need to take a data flow. We need to choose our data flow. and after then we have to take a semantic model. Okay, and the tables which we want to select, all those tables will be refreshed. That is loading the tables. Okay, we need all these tables. Okay, now let me go to home, schedule it, add a schedule time. We need daily. We need at 8 p.m. Okay, start time you can take today's, and the end date you can take any of the future date. You can choose the time zone and save it. Okay, now let me save it. Okay, once any new data is any new data is ingested into the SQL server, then these pipelines will run. This pipeline will run and it will refresh the data flows into. So it will pick up the most up-to-date data. After then it will pass it to the semantic model. Okay, in the semantic model we will get the most up-to-date data, and here in the Power BI we are going to get the up-to-date data. Okay. So thank you for watching this video. Please like, comment and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.